There apparently is some sort of civil war going on right now over, speaking of show business, a civil war going on right now over at NBC News. In one of the broadcasting blogs, the headline from earlier today is, quote, Russert has spent 20 years building credibility, talking about the host of Meet the Press, Tim Russert. Yeah. He spent 20 years building credibility. All of a sudden, he's taking questions from a daily costs blogger.
Who's he talking about?
He's talking about Keith Olbermann, the host of a show over on MSNBC, and he is now the face of NBC News, which makes you wonder what Brian Williams and also Tim Russert and Tom Brokaw feel like when they're essentially playing second bananas to this guy.
You know, I was watching our political coverage last night, of course, before going to bed, but I flipped over to MSNBC, not because I wanted to watch their election coverage, because I like to watch the body language of whoever is sitting next to Keith Olbermann. Chris Matthews and Keith Olbermann were both at the anchor desk, and they could not have been more awkward with each other because, as we know, they don't like each other, and they were forced to anchor together, and it just feels so awkward watching them.
But you have, you know, Tim Russert. Isn't he the editor? I mean, isn't he
the managing editor of the Bureau?
And for him to come on and have to take questions, he was referring to the Daily Kos,
right.
And the Daily Kos is a liberal blog. It's an attack blog.
It's as far left as you can go.
He's a columnist on there.
But Keith Olbermann is. That's absolutely right. So you got the guy who is heading up NBC News, who is clearly an activist. If he's blogging for this far left blog, clearly he is an activist. And if you've seen that show of his, man, he hates everything. But, you know, is that what NBC has become?
Well, NBC wanted to get Barack Obama elected. And let's see if they're going to actually advocate for him to be elected president, because they definitely tried to destroy Hillary.
Well, I mean, the problem is that MSNBC is different in their minds than NBC, but obviously the lines are blurred because there's so much crossover between the talent. You know, Tom Brokaw and
on election night,
NBC reporters appear on both.
There is no political coverage on NBC. It's all on cable, like here. So all of their big stars are on cable, and that's why it is so blurry. And you got to figure Tim Russert can't feel good about that.
And with